Welcome to Apparently with Mr. Ganda. Here's your host, Mr. Ganda.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 1 of Apparently with Mr. Ganda. I was honestly going to start this episode with a different topic, but it is March 1st. It is Women's Month in the United States. Soon we will be celebrating the World's International Women's Day. So I just want to take this opportunity to wish every woman out there a happy Women's Month, a happy Women's International Day, heck, a happy Women's Year for crying out loud. We should be celebrating you ladies each and every day of the year, not just in March, not just for one day, not just for Mother's Day even. And I just want to say that without you, there would be no us. It's that simple. For me, I have several strong women in my life that have contributed to my growth. I have my mother who raised me. I have my mom who gave birth to me. And the distinction between those two I will save for another day or another episode. But like I said, this was not going to be my topic. I actually do have my topic that I was going to talk about. Maybe I'll just save it for a different day. What I want to touch on today specifically is about my African queens. I know there are queens all over the world, but I am an African man. I was born in Sierra Leone. I have to first acknowledge my queens if I do anybody else's. You see, it is usually assumed that African men do not celebrate our African queens. Now, I'm not denying the fact that we should be celebrating them more often than we do, but there's also this notion that African men are not romantic because we sometimes fail to do or say the things that our foreign counterparts might say to our African queens or to women in general. However, this is not the same review we get from foreign women. Anyway, the topic that I want to focus on today is just a celebration. I don't want to even get into those arguments as, oh, this is this, this is that. So my goal today is to celebrate the African queen I know, and I want to remind her why she is and always will be a queen. So if you just indulge me, I would like to tell you about the African queen I know. You see, the African queen I know is not driven by society. She drives society. She's a queen in her own right. She's extraordinary. When I say extraordinary, I really, really mean this. She's the definition of confidence. In all she does, she shares a piece of her soul. You see, the African queen I know, she commands happiness into existence. She is the cradle from whence the proud African king was born. So, if you're thinking about the African queen I know, then you will know she is not ashamed of her natural beauty. She does not buy into the definition of beauty that society is selling. Her curly, natural hair is worn with pride. She fights battles each day, but still presents a smile to the world. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you all about the African queen I know. She does not try to lighten a chocolate smooth skin for anyone. She is proud of it. She is not the one that you tell, oh, you're too dark. Oh, no. She's not worried about how men perceive her because she knows she's a queen. Only a king will be able to recognize the masterpiece that she is. You see, the African queen I know does not need to find a king. She inspires worthy men to become kings. The African queen I know will make words stir a man into action. An encounter with the African Queen I know is almost spiritual in nature. It's like you meeting a piece of the Creator Himself. Yes, she will leave you questioning everything about yourself. When the African Queen I know chooses you, consider it a privilege because that is exactly what it is. You're not just a cool cat that was able to bag the baddest chick. No. When the African Queen I know tells you she loves you, stand tall because the cradle of life has just acknowledged you as an equal. And you have to respect that, people. You really have to respect that. The African Queen I know is no one's bad bitch. No, she's no one's trap queen. She's not your ride or die chick. She's not your homegirl, and most definitely not a thought. A real woman, you say? People, come on. You see, the African Queen I know does not need to be labeled as being a real woman or an independent woman. She's above all these derogatory labels, regardless of their intent. The African Queen I know has a name. She knows she does not need you in her life, yet she gives you the opportunity to be part of her life. The African Queen I know does not stoop low to your level. She knows she deserves your respect, and rightly so. Come on, really. She knows she's a queen amongst commoners. She stands proud, gentle, and strong. This is where I really want to just say Wakanda forever. I just have to say, because everybody's been saying it, everybody's been doing it. But really, that's not what this is all about. I just want to tell you about the African Queen I know. You see, this episode was meant to be my introduction to people that might end up finding my podcast and say, well, yeah, let me find out what he's all about, who he's all about, what are his motives, why is he doing this, why is he doing this podcast. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you that episode 1 is not about me. Episode 1 is about the African Queen that I know. And it is crazy that I have spent so many days recording, deleting, and deleting different topics just for today. Just so I can say, you know what, let me just get ahead and do this podcast and actually start doing it, start posting them. Why do I keep recording 44 minutes worth of me just rambling and then end up deleting it at the end of it because I feel like it's not the piece that I want to put out there. So when I thought about going back, digging back deep into all my little things that I've been doing, all my little projects, and I came upon this piece about the African Queen that I know. And being in March, it's been a hectic first 2 months of the year of 2018, and celebrating Women's Month this year right now, you know. So I thought, what better way to start than to celebrate women? What better way to do that than to start by celebrating the African Queen that I know? That's how this came about. It's not anything crazy. It's not anything that I really planned. Actually, I was going to just upload the topic that I had planned for today, but then I changed the whole thing. I just figured I will do this African Queen piece. So, I am not perfect. My blog is not perfect. This podcast is not perfect. So if you accept that, welcome. If you don't, goodbye. If it gets to you that I'm celebrating African Queens today, March 1st, the first day of the month of the woman, then I'm sorry. You see, as much as I love every woman out there, every queen out there, I must first start with the one that brought me into existence, and that is the African Queen. I'm sorry to say it, it's the truth, it's fact. I can't change it. So let me just continue to tell you about the African Queen that I know, okay? Instead of me rambling and going off topic. You see, the African Queen I know is awesome. Her words can seize the hearts of dragons and lions alike. Her silence is even more powerful. You see, if you think her presence is just that mere, I don't even know the word to use for it, you should just feel her absence. You see, the African Queen's absence changes a man. When she's not in your life, everything crumbles around you. Because her presence will change your soul itself. You see, if you know the African Queen I know, then you can see why she's so precious to me. Every proud king, including King Chatala, should be proud of the African Queen I know. You see, the African Queen I know? Boy! No, for real, let me tell you about the African Queen I know. She accompanies you through life's road trip. She lets you determine the pace by encouraging you along the way and caressing you all the way. You see, the African Queen I know will be there with you to raise strong, proud African princes and princesses. Yep, she will. I mean, what else did you expect from the African Queen? The African Queen I know, I don't know about the one that you know, but the one that I know inspired a young black boy to use his mind, his words, and his hands to share his soul with all. Oh, by the way, that young black boy is myself. See, the African Queen I know has taught me things I never knew. She has my back, front, and my sides. I don't know if that was lame, but hey, it is what it is. The African Queen I know believes in me. Yes, she does. The African Queen I know raised a generation of proud African princesses and princes responsible for this African king's pride and faith in his people. You see, the African Queen I know is a mother to one and all. So, I just want to take this opportunity to thank every single African Queen that is out there. You've raised wonderful people. You've raised great nations. It is sad that a lot of people ignore your contribution to the world in general. But I am glad that the African princesses and princes that you raised are becoming kings and queens in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of society. Yes, when I say African queen, a lot of people will just think I'm just keeping it to the continent of Africa. As much as the African queen came from Africa, her influence has grown beyond the motherland. You see, before I ever came to America, there was an African queen. Yeah. Granted, her journey was not as willing as mine. But she came to this foreign land where she knew no one. Even the people she came with, she did not know most of them because she was taken away from her home back in Africa. Sometimes the languages were so different that she could only speak to herself because she could not even understand the next person to her. So she went through all that. She got abused by her masters, yeah, whatever. But in that time, she raised princes and princesses who grew up to understand her struggle and fought for her freedom. And up to now, they're still fighting for that freedom. Yes. Along the way, some of her children have lost their identity. They've lost the reason for their fight, or the reason for their being. They've let society fool them. They've let society change their mind processes, how they think. They've let society tell them that, oh no, you are not beautiful. Having straight hair, having blonde hair, having brunette hair, that is beauty. Oh no, you are way too thick to be considered beautiful. Oh no, being slim, tiny, and petite, that is beauty. It is a sad thing, people. It is really a sad thing to just see how society is shaped and molded the thought processes of these African queens that I see every day, that some of them I work with. But what can you do, really? All you can do is remind them that, look, you are an African queen. Remember that. And I've not really given my take on the whole Black Panther movie. That's because I've always been a comic fan. I've always been a fan of Black Panther, the comics. And I guess I was looking at it from the perspective of somebody who's read the comics rather than somebody going into it and seeing the blackness of it, but the representation of our people. And by our people, I mean African people, our heritage. So it took me a while to get to see that it is a good thing that Black Panther came out. You see, it's shone some light on the things that some of the African queens have seen, have forgotten. And what better way to remind them of it than a movie like Black Panther that celebrates the strength of the African woman. You see, Chitala, yes, he's a king, he was a king of Wakanda and all, blah, 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 blah. But without the women around him, without the gods like the Dermelaji ladies, come on, I don't think he would have made it. So, even the king freezes when an African queen is in his presence. I just love that scene. He said, "Don't freeze." I said, "What do you mean? I never freeze." Sure, I feel like the accents were a little bit exaggerated, but when you listen to it, really, some people do speak like that. I have an accent. People tell me all the time, but it's different. I don't care. It's just that's how I speak. That's how I enunciate my words. I digress. Let me come back to the African queen that I know. I talked about the African queen that I know who's, helped me use my words and my hands to share my soul with all. And for me, that African queen is no other than Maya Angelou. I love that lady. I loved her. I still do. The things that her words did for me when I was growing up, I can't really describe them, Yeah, I was a young boy, and all my friends knew or wanted me to be was like the cool kid. So I tried to be the cool kid. And I'm saying this with like big quotations, the cool kid. I never thought that showing that I was interested in reading these kind of books, like books by Maya Angelou, reading novels, was something that the cool kid would want to be doing. So I decided I wasn't going to share that piece of me. I asked my aunt, my mother, I asked her to get me these books, and I will stay in the living room and hide under the chairs and read them when nobody was around. Because her poems and her novels were just mind-blowing to me. Books like I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, I love it. I'm sorry if that offends your sensibilities as men or as real men. Again, quotations. I just was inspired by Lady Angelou's works. I have so many other African queens who have inspired me throughout my life, and this is about celebrating all of them. But the one that I really want to celebrate today is the Mrs. herself. Yes, Mrs. Ganda. Ha! Apparently with Mrs. Ganda. Now, wouldn't that be a sight? The things she's gone through with me, I can't even get into that today. I actually think I want to sit her down and have that conversation, that one-on-one, and actually use that as an episode or two. Probably about 5 episodes. It's a lot. But she's the African queen that I know. And it is her birth month. She's actually going to be turning 30. So I thought I'll start celebrating her. I don't even know if she's going to listen to the podcast. She believes in it. She tells me, hey, you should do it. Yeah, sure, do it. But yeah, she's not the one for listening to stuff like that. So, well, guess what? I'm going to convince her to do so. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun 30 minutes, or let's say almost fun 30 minutes. I just wanted to get this off my chest. and just use it as my very first episode. I know there's episode 0 out there, and that was just what it was. Episode 0. It's just an intro. It's just me testing the gears and seeing how things work, trying to figure out, what I'm going to be working with. But this one right here, this one is episode 1. If you're out there and you're listening to this, I thank you. If you want, and if you like what this is all about, go ahead and share with a friend. Follow me on Instagram, that's at Mr_Ganda, that is at Mr Ganda. Or you can check out my website at www.mrganda.com. Hey, if you have Twitter and you actually do use it, follow me at Mr_Ganda. That is at Mr Ganda. I tweet every now and then, but the reason why I'm not as active is because, I don't have anybody following me. So if you follow me, I promise to be active. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for listening to my very first episode of Apparently with Mr. Ganda. And this is the Women's Month edition. Maybe all the episodes that come out for this month are gonna have to do with some topic that relates to women. I don't know. It might not be that way. I'm not making any promises. Again, as I always say, I am not perfect. My blog is not perfect. This podcast is not perfect. If you accept those 3 things, welcome. If you don't, goodbye. This you're listening to is a choice. You made the choice to listen to this. So please, don't come complaining about anything. If you're choosing to listen to this, it's because you want to. If you don't want to listen to it, stop it. Why are you in 27 minutes and now you have things to complain about? But then again, who am I kidding? People are going to complain whether you want it or whether you like it. So, if you're going to complain, do so. Sticks and stones, baby. Again, happy Women's Month, happy Women's International Day, happy Women's Year to all the queens out there, African and non-African queens. But today, it was all about the African queen that I know. So I want you to join me in celebrating the African queen, ladies and gentlemen. Wakanda forever. But nah, I was actually born and raised in Sierra Leone. So, Freetown forever. I love you all. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. Peace.